Hi, this is Patty of pattysdreamscape.com, and I'm coming to you with a video about why I love and joined ILN. But this video is really more a story of where I come from, what I'm about, and telling you a little bit of my life story without going back to childhood, of course. At any rate, I hope that you will have read the story below this video because it's a very personal story. I'm not going to reiterate it in the video, but it tells a little bit about my life and my husband's life and how I arrived at where I am today. And where I am today is I'm involved with the Internet Lifestyle Network, which is an amazing place to be. Part of my story is that 4 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with a very rare and deadly cancer. And at that particular time, as fate would have it, I was laid off in a reduction in workforce from the company that I worked for almost 16 years. My expectations at that point were that I was going to retire from this company, that, I would have all those securities and benefits that we look forward to when we retire, and starting to live the good life, and my husband and I doing things and going places and doing all those things that we all dream of doing. At any rate, it didn't come out that way because he was diagnosed in February of 2009, and I was laid off in August of 2009. I quite honestly took it as a personal affront. I felt betrayed. I felt very angry. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. At that particular point, when we got the news about his health issue, we weren't sure where we were going to go with that. These people allowed me to work from home, which I am eternally grateful for the number of months from his diagnosis on. So I had to think about what it was I was going to do because my husband wasn't able to work. He took early retirement. So I was pretty much the breadwinner, and I wasn't quite sure how we were going to accomplish living day to day. So basically, I was totally immersed in his medical illness. It wasn't a very good prognosis. We were pretty much told that no one survives this cancer. So just to take in all that information and process it, I point out in my blog below that this is something that happens to someone else. And I know that sounds trivial, but it's never real until it happens to you. And when it happens to you, it's devastating. It takes a while to get your mind wrapped around the reality that cancer has come into your home. And trust me, when a member of your family gets cancer, the whole family gets cancer. We all don't get spared. We get it in a different way. But that's why we all battle. We battle back in any way, shape, or form that we can. So anyway, we had all this to deal with, and pretty soon I realized that it was probably a blessing in disguise that I was laid off, because I could have never been the caretaker and advocate for my husband that I was during that period of time. I never trusted anything I heard. I went to battle for him. I read everything, searched everything on the internet that I could to make myself as knowledgeable that was humanly possible so that I could speak with these doctors with some sort of understanding, and that they knew that I had done my homework and that I knew what they were talking about. Because this was such a rare cancer, and this is literally the cancer that killed Steve Jobs. And that was only because he didn't take traditional measures to work on it. He wanted to do, natural and homeopathic or whatever it was that he was doing. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. This particular cancer is very lethal. It usually isn't discovered until it's in stage 4. And by that time, there aren't a lot of options. He was evaluated for surgery, and it was determined that because of the way the cancer had traveled down the portal vein goes from your heart to your liver. that it was impossible. So we didn't have a lot of options at the time, but we never gave up faith. We claimed all the promises for healing that we could, and he was on prayer lists all over the country. Everywhere and anywhere I knew there was a prayer list or a church group, I contacted them, and I believe deeply in the power of prayer, and it was astounding the things that happened. I could write a book. But at any rate, so during all this time, I'm still doing research on work from home businesses. I I found some of the craziest stuff you wouldn't believe, but um, my intent was to find something that I could work from my laptop, because I went everywhere he went. We went to Houston, Texas, to a facility there that deals in nuclear medicine and had a clinical trial. We went back there actually 3 times, and there was a lot of things that weren't covered by insurance. They were only um, they had to be covered out of pocket. So when something like this comes to you, you don't question where you're going to get the money from. You just do it. You do it because you need to do it, because there's no question about it. So we went to Houston 3 times, and then that held him for quite some time, and then he started to get certain symptoms again that put him at risk. And we spent a good almost 2 years in hospital, in and out, taking chemo, just to make it not too complicated. I want to keep it simple. All of that forced me to rethink how we live, what we do. Um, we managed financially by the grace of God, because employment benefits were extended, and Cobra was had a subsidy. I mean, the miracles that happened in our life, that had they not happened, would definitely have given us a different outcome. I can't even begin to say. I still was searching for something I could do from work from home. And I did try another place, and it didn't work out because it just didn't fit my belief system, I guess you'd say. And so I was very disappointed, because I like blogging, and I like people, and I like sharing. So I thought, gee, what a great way to make a living is sharing and blogging, and helping others to achieve their dreams, and some financial freedom. Um, and most particularly for us seniors, it's critical, because I don't know anyone who can live entirely on Social Security. And we pretty much punched it out with our medical expenses that we had to pay out of pocket. So we diminished savings and anything extra that we had pretty quickly. And I found this one place, but that was very disappointing, because it just didn't have that involvement and that support in the internet lifestyle. The first thing I noticed when I actually came in coincidentally, which I love the word coincidentally. There's no such thing as coincidence in my book. I felt I was led to that link. I came in at a live webinar, so lucky me, because it was live, and it had some top earners on there, along with our co-founder, Vincent Ortega. And I was very intrigued. I listened to it. I listened to the costs associated with becoming an apprentice level member, and I listened to all of that. And then I went back, and I saw they had a free test drive, and I thought, oh yeah, that's a good way to test it out. I'll just sign up for that free test drive. Well, by the end of the webinar, I was totally convinced that I would be stupid to pass up this particular opportunity, that there was just too much going for it. So I signed up for the test drive in the middle of the webinar, but by the end of the webinar, I had signed in to become an apprentice level member, which includes, at the time it was 5 blogs. Now the blogs are unlimited, and it includes customer support. It includes the Internet Lifestyle University, which is full of wisdom and trainings, strategies, how-tos, a lot of how-tos. And for someone who worked in the corporate world, it's a different world, the internet world. So there was quite a bit for me to pick up on, but I fortunately had about 6 months prior to coming here where, unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I had to do a lot of things and find a lot of things out on my own. There wasn't the support, there wasn't the community support that there is in ILN, ILN being short for Internet Lifestyle Network. At any rate, I found uh, that there was just tons of things that were offered here, and I looked at the price, and I had to go back and double check because I was sure I was reading this wrong. So, um, for the mere cost of $14.95 a month to become an apprentice level and have the trainings of Vincent Ortega Jr., who's a great marketing person and gives us lots and lots of strategy, and the wisdom of Mark Overson, which, if you don't know who either one of these people are, you just need to Google their name and you'll find out. Um, I had to pinch myself. I'm going like, nobody's trying to sell me a shiny object or convince me. It was very easy going. It was something. It was like, it was the opposite of the used car salesman. There was no pressure. Just come in, take a look, see if you like us. And just that in and of itself was something that just sealed the deal for me. So I signed up, and I was pleasantly surprised that, along with all the things that you get from becoming an apprentice member, and then if you choose to become an affiliate, you have the opportunity to promote and sell the products which are in the university, and we have a big ticket item, which is the Global Resorts Network. So if you read that blog post below, you'll find out all of that. But the most important thing is the people, the community. I went to my first live event in August, and I'd never been to any event of this type. And prior to that, because I joined in July, I had lots of conversations with people inside the private Facebook page. I sought out answers to questions about all sorts of different things, how to set things up, and so on and so forth, and or where to go to find out information. So I found all these people, these wonderful people, that was like, no problem. You ask a question, and 5 minutes later, there's 13 answers, all pretty much the same. So it was refreshing. It was engaging. It was home. You just have to experience it to know what it's all about. But for a person of my age, chasing her dreams, and I'm not going to give up until I capture one of them, I'm believing that you're never, ever too old to dream, and you should never stop dreaming. Dreaming is inspirational. It's good for the soul. It's good for the spirit. And so my dream is to achieve at least the same income level I had when I left my former job when I was laid off, and to take us, my husband and I, on those special trips that we so believe we deserve to have. We've worked our entire life. So it's my dream that I will be buying one of the vacation packages, and that I will be able to see us going places where there's golf courses, because we're golfers. We would love to travel the world via golf courses, and we're a golfing family. So anyway, I'm not going to make this real long because I really want you to read my story. I've just given you a little snippet. There's more to it. But the most important thing is for you to know why I joined ILN, because they were there. They were there, and they were very transparent. It's very real. The people are real. The leaders that are emerging in this group now are just unbelievable. Partnerships and joint ventures, and that's what it's all about. I mean, don't we all want to have our own business? Don't we all want to be our own boss? I know I do, and for the first time, other than what I used to do, which was some pretty techie stuff, I think I'm going to be an internet marketer. and I think it's very possible. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you enjoy my story. It's a very personal story. I had to think twice about whether I was ready to share it in its entirety, but I hope it's of some meaning to someone out there, and I hope anyone that reads it understands. Never give up your faith, never stop believing. If you give up your faith and you stop believing, then what is there really? So we get up every morning, and this is in my blog story. My husband's favorite thing. We give gratitude each day, and we give thanks each day. And he likes to say that, he's still on this side of the green, meaning the Gulf green, and that that's the best place to be. So we're very grateful, and we don't forget. And I share that story with anyone who's in a medical position or fighting a disease, whether it's cancer or whatever the illness is. Don't give up. Don't stop praying. Don't stop believing that you can be healed. At any rate, so that's my story, and I will see you in the next video. Please leave me your email address below. If you have any questions whatsoever, I'd be most happy to answer them and tell you anything more about Internet Lifestyle Network or the Global Resort Network that you would like to know. Thanks, and have a great day.